Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 451. We're starting a brand new franchise. We're starting the Bad Boys franchise. We're going to start off where it all started, 1995 with Bad Boys. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, introduce our special guest.
Is he special? I don't know. At this point, he's just a guest. He's our intern. He's been here a lot of times. Everyone say hello to Scott. He's here. Scott, the intern. Say hello and anything else you want to say.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Why is the microphone not in front of you?
His microphone is 3 feet away.
I feel more professional when you have to get down to it.
We're going to be talking to his shoulder for most of this review. So
Yes.
Scott, the intern, is here, and he'll be joining us for the next 8 episodes. So you'll be hearing him starting today and then 7 more.
All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty here because we all seen Bad Boys, right? So let's get to the financials. And then we just start going into this review. All right. Yes. Financially, this movie, when I say the budget, it puts to shame a lot of movies, action movies. The budget was $19 million, which I'm like, okay, if Michael Bay could do an action movie for $19 million, why can't we just do more action movies with $19 million? And it looks as crispy as this one. But anyway, worldwide, it made $141 million. Now, another movie that this came out to similar was Mad Max. Wasn't Mad Max like super low and then it just went skyrocketed?
Mad Max was, I think, like under $1 million.
Yeah.
But the budget was like 900,000 or something crazy.
And it made like 100 million.
Like and it made like a billion times its budget or something crazy.
But Scott, anything about these numbers shock you?
No, I mean, it's a 90s classic is what it is. So I'm not shocked that it was majorly successful, but however, I've never known the numbers before. So that is highly successful.
Yeah, very highly. Nate, anything on the numbers?
Yeah, by the way, $19 million in today's money would still be only a moderate budget of $39 million.
Oh, that's not even that bad.
It's not bad because also that box office would then also be increased by pretty much double. So have made like $300 million. So, it would still be a huge hit. I'm not surprised with those numbers. I will say this movie came out when I was like, 95? This was 95, I think.
Yeah, 95.
Right? I was a kid. I did not see this when I was a kid. It's not one of those, like I grew up on 90s movies, but this is not one of the 90s movies that I grew up on. I saw it later. That being said, like Bad Boys 2 is the one that came out when I was in high school. And that would have been more like probably when a lot of people saw the first one. So I knew it was a successful movie because there was a part 2. So I'm not that surprised. That's a nice, it launched Michael Bay's career, really. And it put Will Smith into that summer box office, like kind of star. This was the first kind of big hit.
So my question was, I know that Will Smith was not the first person they approached for this role. Do you guys know who they approached?
Wasn't Tom Selleck?
No.
Tom Selleck! No, I'm going to say, I'm trying to think who might have been big in the mid-90s like that. Were they black still? Were they trying to go like two black guys still? Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't like LL Cool J, was it? Well, he wasn't big until late 90s, I think.
He was big in music in the 80s, but acting wise, I think mid 90s. Yeah, he could have been LL Cool J. No, I'm gonna say is an act. I'm assuming it was an actual actor.
Yes.
Oh,
Denzel.
No way.
Huh?
I don't think they went after Denzel.
So Martin Lawrence wanted Eddie Murphy to play.
Oh.
Okay, so it says it here. Funny enough, Martin Lawrence wanted Eddie Murphy for Bad Boys when the original was being made. But the actor apparently cost too much, and Will Smith ended up being his partner in the crime. It all worked out. This is what I will say, because it's not a big topic point, but I will say with Eddie Murphy, I could totally see him as the Will Smith character. The only difference is that he's not an action star per se. Like, I think he would have did a great job because there's a lot of movies Eddie Murphy did that played this similar role as this one. He did the movie that he's the boxer in Spy. I thought that was mad funny, which is action-packed. He was Beverly Hills Cop. He did Showtime with Robert De Niro, which kind of similar to this one.
I think he would have been better in the Martin Lawrence role.
Oh, hands down.
The Will Smith role.
Yeah. Oh, yes, hands down. He would have been mad funny with the wife.
Because the Will Smith needed, because Eddie Murphy is a little older. It would have been with the wife, with the kids. And he would have been like, oh my God, these wives. I think he would have been better as Martin's role because Will Smith had to be the good-looking, charming, rich. That's not really Murphy, but he would have worked in this movie. I agree with you because it's a comedy first, this first one. and then it's an action movie. Like, it's an action comedy, really.
I could totally
Yeah.
see him as
Yeah.
Is it Marcus?
Marcus,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mark.
Yes,
I could totally see him as
Marcus.
Marcus. I could
I mean,
totally
Martin
see it.
Lawrence. Martin Lawrence at this point, he was just a comedian. He was
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
star. He wasn't an action person.
Mhm.
I would say even after this, he wasn't really like an action guy. He was a comedian.
Didn't both of them come out of their shows for the movie? Like Will Smith out of Fresh Prince, and then Martin Lawrence out of Martin.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So they were big TV stars, and they're in this movie, and that's why it was lower budget, and good for them.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it does make sense. Like if you do Eddie Murphy would have cost millions of dollars to get. I mean, this was 19 million, and that's for Will Smith and them. And I bet once we do part 2, the salaries are gonna go up, and I bet the budget is gonna go
budget
up
goes
too.
way
So
up.
yeah, it's gonna go way up. It's gonna be like 50 to 60 million. I bet you on that one. All right. With that said, what did the audience and critics have to say about Bad Boys?
Well, these were very interesting scores. Audience score 78%.
Okay.
So that one's not that interesting. That sounds about right to me. However, the critic score for this movie is a 44%. Critics did not like this, and when you read the little blurb, it states, kind of the whole Michael Bay favors, violence and action over whatever. Okay, sure, it's an action movie. Like, I don't know what is going on, but it sounds like a retroactive type blurb. I mean, in 95, I don't know if this is exactly what people were saying, and that's the thing about Rotten Tomatoes. When it comes to old movies, it's mostly newer reviews of those old movies. So I don't know what critics of the time were saying, but obviously this was a big hit. So maybe they were a little friendlier towards it. But yeah, this has a 40. I thought that was a little low, to be honest, for a movie that's a whole big franchise,
I'm not shocked because when we did Rocky, it's the lowest one.
That's right. Yeah, that was really weird.
Rocky 1 is the lowest Rotten Tomato score, and that won Best Picture and all these Oscars compared to the others. So
But that was low with
I'm
the
not shocked.
audience, I think, right? It was like weird. I'm like,
yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, you get when we've done so many of these episodes, you can never know what these people.
No,
are
I don't. Scott,
Say.
anything weirder with these Rotten Tomato scores that you heard?
No, not really, because it's a Michael Bay movie, so they probably saw it directed by Michael Bay, and they were like, 44.
Hey, and that's what I said about 13 Hours when we did 13 Hours. I was like, I don't know how this movie got tainted real low, and it was like one of the best movies I think he ever directed.
Mhm.
Oh,
yeah,
So-
it's the Bay hate.
Yeah, so anyway, with that said, let's get into the actual review here. So we got Martin Lawrence, Will Smith as the lead characters, Marcus and Mike Lowry. Let's start it off with lead characters. Scott, take away.
All right, so Marcus and Mike Lowry. I gave them a 5. I think their chemistry on screen is top notch. You believe that they've been friends forever because that's what, he's like, I've been your best friend, or I've been your partners for 6 years, and I've been your boy all your life, when he thinks he's doing his wife in that one scene. And yeah, no, it's just like watching them together, it's comedy gold on the screen, and then you put them in action situations and watch them yell at each other and get frustrated. And it feels right. Like, it feels realistic. Like it feels like they've been friends forever. And I love watching their chemistry on screen. I give them a 5. Yeah.
All right. Neat.
Interesting. I gave him 5 too. I agree. I actually agree. I think they have, going back and watching this, I don't watch any of these movies a lot. I own them all. Bad Boys, I would never say it's like been one of my favorite franchises. So I haven't seen this movie in, honestly, it got to be like 15 years since I watched Bad Boys 1. And going back and watching it, like having seen the new ones, they have fantastic chemistry from the jump. Like, they really do. Even the opening scene when they're like in the car talking, their banter, how they get mad. I love that one scene where they're driving and he's getting mad at him. And then, Will Smith is getting mad at Martin. F you and F these people. And he's like, I love you, Mike, even though you're saying all this stuff. And then he's like, I'll drive us right off of this cliff if you don't do whatever. Funny. And so 5 for them, but special shout out to Joe Pantoliano in this movie. This guy, every time
the
he
boss.
talks,
Yeah.
I laugh. Bro, when he's shooting the basketballs, one of the funniest scenes, and the part where Marcus is sitting at the desk and he's like, get up, we gotta do this. And he doesn't get up. He's like, you'll never see your wife for a year.
You gotta talk sexy.
I laughed so hard. So yeah, I'm going to give them a 5 too. I do think they are a great, as far as buddy cop movies, they're a great tandem. And we didn't mention, They're great in the action scenes, honestly. Like Martin, for not being an action person, he holds his own. And I think Will Smith looks really great when they're doing the action scenes. A little bigger, stronger kind of, guy. But yeah, I gave him a 5 as well.
All right, so this is where it comes down to me. So I look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a crazy Bad Boys fanboy when it comes to the franchise. My wife is big on it, not me. So me rewatching these, I was like, oh boy, it's been ages since I seen these. So I was like, all right, this is going to be a fun watch because now when we do it with our criterias, it gets really interesting. So I will say this, in terms of the characters, because that's what I'm basing my stuff on, I am giving it a 5. Like, because I did enjoy myself, but I'm also including the captain in this because he is part of the crew. And I don't care what, Nate, you said it the best. Every time he talked, I laughed. I love when he was like, come here. And he's yelling at them. And he goes, do you remember what was in this cage? It was like heroin. Yeah. Something in, oh man, I thought that was funny. He was like, I'm calling all stops here, baby. He goes, I want SWAT.
Yes. Bro, he goes, Joey Pants. So funny.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, you're right. The basketball scene was pretty funny. He's missing everything. He goes, I was making them all
before you came in here.
Yeah, that was funny. And then even the Spanish guys were funny too. At some parts, they were funny. Yeah,
Ruiz and
Alvarez. Oh, Vargas.
And Ruiz.
Vargas and Luis. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. I like, for me, and then Julie, too, right? It was played by Leone. Yeah, her. For me, she was okay, but she was just a damsel in distress. So I was like, whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, in terms of Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, I will say this. In this movie, I liked Will Smith more than Martin Lawrence. I felt like his acting wasn't like top. Like, it just, I was never great. Like, I like Martin as a comedian, but in terms of a movie star, I was never attached to him as much. Like, there were certain scenes in this movie that I was just like, I guess it's in the 90s. I was just like, this doesn't come out right. Like when, I'll say, perfect example, when they found the location of the bad guys. And Luis and Vargas is eating hot dogs and they're making fun. And then he was like, this is serious, man. And I was just like, this is bad acting, bro. Like, he's like, we're gonna die on this one. Like, I just felt like there was certain parts.
Anything non-comedic wasn't his strong suit.
That's what I was trying to say. Yes, it was. He did not come out right as much. Like, even when scenes with him and Tina Leone on the bed, I was just like, it didn't work well. But then there was parts that was mad funny. When his wife came in, it was like, baby, I know this is kind of weird.
That part is so funny. It looks like we're having a big orgy.
Yeah. He was like, Mike is coming out with no shirt. You think it's gonna be like some big ass orgy? Like,
you see me half naked and then you see the white girl.
That part is
so that, again, you got some strings and you got some, you got some positives, some negatives, but at the end of everything, they worked well. And that's the whole point of it. So I gave it a 5 across the board.
And they have a backstory, which is good.
Oh, yes, they do.
You know, they're friends since they were young. You know, their partners. One's rich. One's like got a family. They're different, but they work good together. So I think they did a good job, actually.
And of course, and then every time he saved Mike, they put a picture up of each other.
Yes.
I was like, who's going to believe that?
That was so funny.
Yeah, she was like, wow, he must have saved you a lot of times. He goes, that's why you see the whole. That was pretty funny. Yeah. And was that the part that she goes, are you gay? He goes, you didn't feel the lumps in the bed? He goes, like, damn.
He's like, is this your lover?
Yeah.
What?
That's how we getting down.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, other than that, 5 across the board here. Okay. Main villain.
Fauché.
Yeah. So, what do you got, Nate, for Fauché?
I don't like him. I think he's honestly, I think this is the worst part of the movie is the villain. Okay. So, if you've never seen this movie, or if you want to just kind of get, or if you've seen it, it's been a while. Essentially, this guy is a French drug lord. He has a little crew that has a connection in the police precinct in Miami where they did a big drug bust. They steal all this heroin. He's then like taking it. They're like doing whatever, splitting up. They're going to make a bunch of money on the stolen heroin. That's like the main plot. He then essentially what gets him really tipped off to our lead characters is he shoots a prostitute or a former prostitute who's like doing this job, who is like works with them, knows them. And Téa Leone's character is there with her, sees the murder, she's the witness, he's the murderer, and they're trying to, there's a lot going on actually as far as all that goes. But essentially, this guy is in the background most of the movie. He does he shoots a lady in that part, so he does a murder. But when it comes down to it, honestly, I don't think he's memorable. I don't even remember this guy being like the villain in this movie. I know I haven't seen it in a while, but there's a lot of other movies that I haven't seen in a long time that I remember who the villain is. This guy's just kind of there. There's a bunch of henchmen. None of them are memorable. I gave him a 2 because he shoots a lady but when it comes to the end, he doesn't, they wreck him pretty easily. Like they chase him in the car. He crashes. He pretends like gonna shoot him, and then they shoot him a million times. So unmemorable to me. I don't really like him. I gave him a 2.
What you got, Scott?
I agree with pretty much everything Nate said. However, I gave him a 3, and I gave him a 3 just pure nostalgia purposes. Like I've seen these movies, I think way more than you guys have, over and over again. So it always reminds me that he's the bad guy in the first movie. Is he great? No, he's there. He does menacing things. He kills Will Smith's friend, like sets a whole drug ring up to break into the police department to steal a whole thing of heroin, get inside info and do it all tactical and stuff like that. But he's just not very, I don't know. When I think of a villain, he's not the first thing that pops in my head. So
Not
I gave him a
memorable.
3. Yeah, exactly. However, I've just seen the movie 1,000 times, so I know he's the villain. But, he also does kill his own chemist and stuff like that, who messes with his timetable. He's like a serviceable villain. So I gave him a 3, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to be honest in this one. I gave him a 3. Honestly, he did what villains do, right? Like I totally, again, when we score him does he fight the bad guys? No, but he had a shootout with the bad guys. Right? He shot Maxie. So he got the plot going. He rolled up into Will Smith's apartment and shot up the whole damn place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he was trying to kill him. I'm not gonna say he literally, and he grabbed her by the hair. I was like, oh damn, Tina Leone must have been pissed during that shot. Like he was like grabbing all over the place. But I don't know. Like I agree, he's not memorable as like for me. Like right now, if I go memorable Bad Boys villain, I will say Diego because that's the only dude I know from part 2. The dude, right? Like that's because he's just very memorable, like that Spanish thick accent. I can't tell you 3 and 4 because I don't remember those. And 4 just came out, so I can't even tell you what 4 was. So that's even bad. But yeah, he was okay. I don't know. He was just a generic drug lord. That is exactly what this guy was. Mostly henchmen doing most of the work, chasing them through the streets. Car chase was the henchman that blew up the car. So for me, he wasn't as crazy, but I gave him a 3 because I don't know. I just felt like he was at the end of everything. He was from the beginning to end. He wasn't like Cobra Commander that was like lurking in the dark. Like this dude was in the beginning and he goes, oh, you took my heroin. And then he was like, oh, and then at the end. So I was like,
I'll also say one reason too I marked off is that he could have got away with it. He could have got away with it, but he keeps showing up to kill the girl. When she recognized somebody, it wasn't even him. And then like,
that's true.
Yeah, if he just laid out of it, they might have eventually like figured it out, but he probably could have done his big drug deal. But he had such a hard on to kill this girl that he ended up blowing. I'm like, what an idiot. So he ended up being kind of stupid.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, at the end of the
just hide, bro. Just hide.
Yeah, could have did the Cobra Commander. But all right, 3 across the board here. 3 for me and Scott, a 2 for Nate. All right, action scene, Scott.
Action scenes. I was watching it. I was thinking about it, and I gave it a 5. I mean, because I was, because when I think of these movies, I think of all the other ones too. But then I was like watching it, and then you get down to the beginning scene where they get pulled over. I mean, there's not like an explosion or anything, but he like throws a drink in the one guy's face and kicks him in the nuts and arrests him, and that's how you get introduced to the movie. And then you get the car chase scene with the ether, the shootout in the hotel, and the chase scene that follows that. I mean, you get Michael Bay, you get explosions everywhere, and it all looks fantastic. So I'm not going to say anything more. You guys take it away. It's a 5 for me.
All right. Nate, what you got? Action.
Yeah. Okay. I think the action in this first movie is good. This is Bay's first like feature film, I believe. You could see the makings of a great action movie director. I don't think he's there yet. I did not give this a 5. I gave it a 4 though. I do think it's really good. I think it ramps up though. There's a lot of parts with no action, which is fine because it's funny and you're at least with characters that you like. The third act, that's kind of where it gets really, like, you get like explosions and you know me with my 90s movies, like practical they're blowing stuff up. There's not CGI fire and CGI explosion. So I love that. You have there's car chase, but it's not the best car chase. Not even in this franchise. I would say it might be the worst car chase in the franchise. And it's not bad. But the other ones all have more memorable car chases that I can think of off. Even the third one has a very memorable one. So I think it's good. Very good. I think Bay would eventually get even better. But I think the action here is actually really solid. And I gave it a 4.
Yeah, when it comes to action, I gave it a 4, hands down. And even once the movie ended, I was like, oh, this is not even a 5. Because you're right. This is the making of an action director. While he did have great set pieces, there was a lot of good set pieces. Like, even when they were shooting up the airport or whatever, the hangar, I was like, this is actually really cool. Like, chaos was erupting everywhere. Explosions are going everywhere. I was really into it. Like, even when, Marcus gets shot, he pulls up with the car and he's like, you got to get in the car and everything's exploding around him. I'm like, damn, it's starting to get tensed up. He gets in the car, they peel off. You're right. That car chasing, okay, I was okay with it. I was like, okay, this is cool. But you got a Shelby GT versus a Porsche, right? I'm not going to go into nerdism. I'm not going to go into car automobile, which car is faster, which one could. At the end of anything, I'm like, you're supposed to squeeze through this little thing. Like, I told my wife, I said, this is where it gets a little, and she was like, what's wrong? I was like, because if you're a bad guy, this guy didn't even try to go as fast. Like, he's just letting the Porsche try to catch up to him. And then when he got near the stupid thing, he allowed Marcus to hit him. I was like, come on, bro. The bad guy would have tried to shoot at him. He didn't do that. And he had a gun on him. He didn't even try to turn around. So, I don't know. I just felt like it was very plain Jane chasing. I was just like, okay, cool. Like, I wasn't too crazy with it. I was like, But, like I said, I liked the lead up to it. I thought that was pretty cool. And then throughout the movie, it was sprinkled here and there. I thought the apartment shooting was actually pretty cool. But then it led into that lethal weapon chase of Morgan Riggs running towards the bad guy in the car. So very, I don't know. For me, it wasn't as grand. Like, I know we're going to get down the line.
And some of the editing was a little
choppy.
Yes, I didn't love it. There were certain
very
edits.
Choppy.
There was there were certain zooms and things that he would kind of smooth out over time that I was like, this looks like an early.
Yeah, when Will Smith is running through the buildings and it chops from him going to a photography shoot and then cuts quick into a salon. I was like, what? Like, how did we get from point A to
very
point B?
90s TV, some of it, honestly.
Could be, yeah.
So.
Yeah. And one part which nitpicked me, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. And my wife started laughing. Will Smith's running, right? Before he saved Marcus, he's running over a bridge.
Oh, in the street?
Yes, he's running from the right side. But then he pulls up from the left side, and I'm like, this is bad editing right here. I was like, this is totally bad. Because that means he ran through the salon, because there was the buildings were on that left side. So I was like, if he was running, it would be from the right to the left. So he would have ran and tackled him into the thing. But anyway, that's mad nitpick. But I gave it a 4 too. I agree. I think this is a foundation was built here with this movie, which it is. It's technically the first movie of a 4-film franchise. So I agree. 4, 5 for Scott. All right, storyline. Take it away, Nate.
Okay, I gave it a 3. I think I remember why I don't watch this one that much. I do think while I know a lot of people love this movie and I like it. I don't love it. But I think the storyline, it drags so much. And the reason it drags is so they can put in a lot of humor, which is fine. If you're asking me about the script as far as the comedy and stuff, I think it's very good. It's funny. I laugh. Every time I watch this movie, I laugh. And I think they have great chemistry and all that. The plot is really they're trying to solve this crime, but it's 2 hours long, this is not the longest movie. By the way, Bad Boys 2, which were as long as heck. I remember it being long as heck. But this one just feels like the middle, nothing's happening on that front, right? They're constantly just, every once in a while, they're revisiting that they're actually doing this crime. And then you'll get stuff with the girl and Martin and him trying to pretend to be Mike Lowry. And then Mike's going to Martin's house and they got these scenes where they're looking at pictures and laughing. But none of it really is integral to the plot as far as the crime element. And I feel like when you have a movie like this, you definitely want to fit in your humor, but within that kind of story. So to me, it drags a little at parts. I think it is fun, but I don't think this is a great crime storyline at all. And it's also pretty generic. Crime lord steals a bunch of drugs, wants to sell it. We got to stop him. Okay, cool. But that's it. So I gave it a 3. I think it's fine. Like, it does the job. Like Scott said earlier about the villain, like, it's serviceable. It does the job, but it's not amazing.
All right, Scott.
I fully agree with Nate. I gave it a 3. The story's there. I do appreciate the fact that they throw in the backstory, so you know that they were, and they even got pictures of them when they were young in high school and stuff like that. But the whole story as a whole, it's just there to do what it's supposed to do, and it does. But there's nothing complex to it or anything crazy or wild. But it's an action movie. You can't expect Martin Scorsese over here writing the story. So, but yeah, it's a 3 for me.
Yeah, I gave it a 3. You said it, Eric. You said it, Nate. Damn thing dragged, because I was like, oh my God. I was like, and then it was like corny jokes. Like, and that's the thing that's so bad. Not bad. Let's rewind that. That is one of the problems that I have with aging action movies that are comedy, like Rush Hours. Like, some of the stuff will still stick, but then some of the stuff you're just like, ooh, this is not funny. And I felt like it's the same thing with this Bad Boys movie. Some stuff I laughed my ass off. I thought with the lieutenant, mad funny. Every time he got on screen, mad funny. Some jokes that Marcus was saying, I was like, okay, here and there was okay. But then I felt like it kept dragging. The whole him wanting quality time was like almost the whole fucking movie. He wanted to bang his wife. I was like, Jesus Christ, just bang your damn wife already. I was just getting so tight. I was just like, I guess that's the whole point of the joke. But, and then you got the Will Smith. I was just like, this was way too long. Like, I get it that that was the whole joke of them separate. But at this point, you're already 30 minutes into the film. You're just like, oh my God. Like, remember when Will Smith walked into the apartment and he's like, the dog shit in his carpet and he's getting tight and all that? I was just like, man, I was like, move this, let's get it. Then they go to the club. Then from the club, they go into the action sequences. But you're right, Nate. When they go into I always enjoyed with Bad Boys is when they do the investigation part.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I enjoyed that when Will Smith went into the house and then he got his ass beat.
And you could put a bunch of jokes while you could still have the humor while they're solving stuff.
Yeah, and which they did, because Marcus was with the lieutenant when they got the phone call, and then this dude is on the other side. And I was like, that's fun. But then when you got him and Tia Leone doing whatever, and I was just like, oh, Which
I don't like her character in this movie.
No,
I don't even understand why she's like that. Like, no, we can't go to the safe house. You got to take me to your house. Why? That's weird. Why wouldn't you want to go somewhere safe? You're trying to pin a killer. Like, why would you want to go to a regular apartment? Every time she's there and they give into like everything she wants to do because she's going to ID the shooter. And even then, like, she didn't even do a good job of that. And then she leaves and tries to shoot him. I'm like, I don't like her character. I forgot to mention it. So she's part of the storyline. I don't like her.
But even that, like, right, he's having a bologna sandwich and we're already talking about, do you know what they have in bolognas? And then he's like, can I have a pickle? I thought that was funny.
That was for the pickle was funny.
Yeah, he was
I can't even taste the salt.
Yeah.
Dip it in some Coke.
The pickle is salty, slapped it into soda. I thought that was funny. But yeah, I don't know. I agree. She wasn't as...
She's annoying.
She didn't need to be in the film. To me personally, she didn't identify the bad guy, to be honest. None of them. Oh, yeah. The bald head guy that they blew up.
No, and she tried to shoot him. What was she doing? Why was she trying to shoot anybody?
Yeah.
It was weird. And she's not a prostitute, but she was working like as a prostitute that night. It's all very weird. I don't know what was going on.
Well, no, she was friends with Maxine. And
she went to do a job with her that was from a madam.
Well, I think it was a friend. I think she was just like a friend to come over to hang out.
Oh, yeah. She's like, okay, you could be a prostitute. I'm just going to be a friend.
She's an hold your hand. She's not a prostitute.
She's
the
same crap. It was weird. It was just all very kind of weird.
No, it is. It was, I don't know.
Good actress. I like Tia Leone. I just don't like her in this.
No, she's not.
Yeah. She's annoying.
I like her in Jurassic Park.
All right, so 3 across the board here overall.
Overall, I gave it a 4, though. I like this movie. It's good. It's fun. It is fun. I think it is a good starting point for a franchise. It feels like a first movie. Do like going back and seeing these guys kind of like fresh-faced and younger. You know what I mean? And you know how like a lot of times people are like, oh, these sequels take us so long. Like there's so much gap in between them. I think it kind of works for this franchise, the gap. Because you got these characters who in this movie are childhood friends. and now you're seeing them 6 years into being partners. I kind of like the gap of now. The next one is like, I think 7 or 8 years after this one. So, and then the next one after that is even longer, like 15 years or something crazy. So I kind of like the gaps in this, but this definitely feels like a beginning. It's a good starting point. It's entertaining. It does drag, but it's funny. And I like the chemistry between the two leads, and I like the two leads. So I give it a 4.
All right, Scott.
I'm going to go one step ahead of you and give it a 5. That's pure nostalgia because I'm a sucker for the movie. I mean, when I go back, I don't watch them like once a year or something like that, but I'll watch them every couple of years. I'll do like a franchise binge or something like that of them. And I mean, I can pretty much like word for word, say everything that they're going to say in the movie because it's just one of those movies I grew up watching. So it's a 5 for me for pure nostalgia purposes.
Nice. I went with a 4. Normally, I would have went with a 3, but I went with a 4 because I did enjoy myself watching the movie. In certain parts I laughed at a lot, and Nate said it best. Is some parts that I felt very draggy and boring. But then at the end of everything, it was entertaining. I literally was eating popcorn watching the fucking movie. I was like, I'm eating skinny pop. Like, okay, my popcorn. So it was entertaining. I was like, okay, this is not bad of a movie. I was like, I can't see myself watching it over and over, but it's okay to be like, okay, I want to see it. I don't mind watching putting on part 1 and starting from there. Like, it was funny.
Even though I haven't seen it in 15 years.
Yeah.
It would be good every few years, or if someone's never seen it, It's easy to sit through and be like, oh, you never seen it? Okay, let's watch it. Like, and you'll laugh and you'll be entertained.
I agree. All right, total points across the board here. Scott, what you got?
21 out of a 25.
I knew who's going to be the high man on this one.
Of course he is.
I got an 18 out of a 25.
18. Mine is a 19 out of a 25.
I forgot to add in the overall.
I forgot the overall.
So apparently I hate this movie the most.
You hate
even though
the movie
I think
more
I
than
liked
me.
it more than you. But
Yeah.
it's because of the villain. I hated the villain more.
Faux show.
Faux show.
Faux
The
show,
French
son.
baguette. Faux show.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty good scores there. All right, Nate, what is coming up next on the podcast?
All right, coming up next, we are pairing Bad Boys movies with a legendary actor, actually one of the greatest actors of all time. I feel comfortable saying that, but who dipped his toe into a number of action movies. Now, this first one, we'll see how it goes. It's a movie called Out of Time. So we're going to be doing this one from 2003. It's Denzel Washington movies, by the way, if you didn't gather that. Denzel Washington movies. So the first one we'll be doing is Out of Time. And then, of course, the episode after that will be Bad Boys 2, the one that I feel like most people in our age group know the most. Bad Boys 2. And Scott will be here for all of these episodes.
I think they totally dropped the ball on the name of Bad Boys 2. It should have been called Bad Boys 2, What You Gonna Do? Right? Because isn't that the stupid song?
Even,
right?
You know what? It's the Bad Boys 2 is the only one that has a 2. Like the other ones are not Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys 4. It should have just been called Bad Boys, What You Gonna Do?
Yes.
What You Gonna Do?
And then the do will be the 2 at the end.
Well, there you go.
Missed opportunity. You're right. They could have just went with subtitles for all of them.
And then part 4 would have been What You Gonna Do When We Come For You.
When we come for you.
For you. So when you buy the whole set, is the whole song.
That would be crazy. And then on the back, they put it how Martin sings it. If no sniff no slay. You just put that. And a digital code.
That's the code.
That's the number. That's the code you type in for the digital.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of S's and F's and N's.
All right, guys. You guys want to follow us in our social media accounts? Please follow Nate over on Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Anything Action Movie Guys. Head over to youtube.com/Action Movie Guys. Subscribe. Leave comments on your favorite episode or take us on the go with the Action Movie Guys podcast, available on all podcast platforms. And you can follow Scott over on Instagram at Joe Joker's Movies at Instagram, right? On Instagram? I got that right. Look at that. And of course, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
And that is my man, Scott, Joe Joker. Be awesome to each other and geek out.